So I've had concussions from sports before. I'm an athlete and always have been, but other than when I shot myself, I've never had one like this. I still don't really know what happened that day. I have a very vague memory of picking my motorcycle up off the backside of a jump, and that's about it. Everything else has been filled in from what I've been told from other people. So I can't explain that one because I don't remember it. But normally, I mean, it's very obvious when you have a concussion. It's more than getting your bell rung. But like with this one, I guess somehow I got back on the bike and took it back to my truck. And again, this is all filled in from after the fact. I made it back to my truck and for some reason called my parents who lived 17 hours away in Colorado. So I don't know why I called them, but obviously I was out of it. I called them and was like, "Hey, I was in a motorcycle accident and I'm pretty sure I have a concussion." And they were like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know where I am." And I mean, I was at a racetrack. The place has a name. I should have known the name of this place, but it's like, I don't know. And they were like, "Okay, well, hang on, sit tight, don't go anywhere. We're going to try and get a hold of some of your buddies from your platoon." And I guess they hung up the phone and I immediately called back and said all the same stuff again. I was like, "Hey, I was in a motorcycle accident. I think I have a concussion." And that's when they realized like something is very, very wrong. But I don't have a recollection of the rest of that day, but the recovery from that is any sort of light or noise or anything, even just moving, like getting up, like going from laying down to sitting up is just spikes of pain through your head and behind your eyes. And it's nausea and memory issues and sleeping issues and just being in a fog. And they're miserable to recover from because it's kind of like if you break a finger, the only thing they can really do is splint your broken finger to a not broken finger with your head. They can't even do that. You just have to sit in darkness and try not to do anything with your head. You're not supposed to think hard. You're not supposed to read. You're not supposed to watch anything. You're just supposed to be in the dark and rest for prolonged periods, like weeks.
Yeah. Have you noticed that throughout the sports industry, how there's people, even people at a young age, that are being diagnosed with CTE and other forms of brain disease because of all the impacts and the concussions that they've sustained in sports? What are your thoughts on all of that? Have you noticed that trend?
Well, I mean, it's a buzz topic right now, and I've got a former Super Bowl winner coming on my podcast who's had 9 emergency brain surgeries from those same forces. But I believe with the CTE, actually, the bigger contributing factor isn't these big hits, it's the repetitive smaller hits over and over and over of 300 pound linemen, hitting 50 times a game at the line and stuff like that. And or if you're a running back and you're getting just drilled over and over. But it is definitely a trend. I think the as it is becoming more of a more common piece of knowledge, it's going to get better in terms of people being aware. And if I don't have kids, if I do end up having kids, I'm not sure. I think because I played football when I was very young. I also played lacrosse. I think I'd be more apt to put my kid on a lacrosse team than a football team because you're not going, I mean, it's still very rough, but you're not slamming into people head to head so much. And it's just something to be conscious of. It's kind of, if it's kids, that's a tough situation because you don't want to wind up with something that's going to affect them for the rest of their life, but you also have to let them explore. But if you're an adult, kind of pick your battles. It's tough. You still got to enjoy life. It's just that having that knowledge is power.